If you live in the Western world, you probably know by now that sometimes when you end up criticizing the system, the political leaders, or even the mainstream media, you get called names and labels, and then you even get cancelled. Well, what you might not know is that there's nothing new about this. This was always done. For the past few decades, this sort of tactic and strategy in general, long term, actually came from the communists. For those who are not familiar, in 1943, the Communist Directive actually created this style of doing crackdown against ordinary people. Watch this.
In 1943, the following directive was issued from party headquarters to all communists in the United States. It read, "When certain obstructionists become too irritating, label them after suitable build-ups as fascist or Nazi or anti-Semitic, and use the prestige of anti-fascist and tolerance organizations to discredit them. In the public mind, constantly associate those who oppose us with those names which already have a bad smell. The association will, after enough repetition, become fact in the public mind."
They're still doing the same thing. The interesting thing about modern history over the last 80 years or so is that they told us that after obviously the National Socialists were defeated in Germany and elsewhere, and obviously fascists in Italy, what we had was the new enemy, which was actually the older enemy because it was communism coming from Karl Marx. With communism and actual communists, because the big enemy became the Soviet Union, which is more of a structure, it's an establishment, they said, once we defeat the Soviet Union, everything's going to be fine. Well, you defeated the Soviet Union technically, but not the actual toxic virus of communism. They told us communism is basically gone. There are no real communists anymore. Yes. Why? Because you tamed them. That's what you told us. You tamed the communists. You invited them into the tent by making sure that they are civilized. You said, would you like to join our establishment as long as you identify as a mere socialist or a social democrat? So all those ideas that were once being promoted by revolutionary communists are now being promoted by those who are democratically being invited into the system. It's still the same solutions, same policies, but we invited them into the tent. It's better because we can control them, right? Yeah, we might have done for the first couple of decades, but over the last few decades, are we actually controlling them? Who is in charge of controlling them? Because the whole of the establishment, from the academia and media to cultural institutions and the political establishment, is completely infected with this virus. They have not been eliminated.